Hey y'all, we are coming live. How you know Miss Cotton on there? You can see so good. I wish I could see that good.
I just want to show her.
Okay, so we're coming live just to, without the children, without opening any packages, hopefully without any interruptions. We see how that's going.
There you go.
And they were in there playing their game peacefully.
Go.
And here they come. But we have been getting some. Share the live. If you're tuning in, go ahead and share the live. React, comment, all of that. Because we want to try to get the views up at least to about 10 before we start sharing. We might do 5 because we hardly ever get 10 views at one time.
We need 10. We need 10 M.
10 million? My boy said we need 10 million, y'all. Okay. Get us to 10 million.
And 10 grand.
10 grand. So, this live is just to give a little background on us and our family. We did kind of just, well, for the people that don't know us, we kind of popped up out of nowhere. And we have been getting some inboxes on the Simply Akins page requesting more background on our family. So, share this live. And we're going to discuss a little bit about us and about our background. A little bit.
Yeah, so.
Because it will take us 10 years to tell our whole story. So join in with us and share the live. Help us get these views up. And let me see if I can get to it on my iPad so I can keep up how many views. Because my husband, even with these good glasses on, I can't see that number up there, but I'm sure he can. Right now we have 2 viewers based on what it's showing me on my personal page. So let's try to get about 3 more, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Let's try to get. We have 3 now. Hey, Bub. Hey, Miss Cotton. Thank y'all for tuning in. We're going to try to get at least...
Come on.
How many more views? You want to shoot for 7 or you want to just shoot for 2 more? 2 more viewers, and then we're going to start chatting with how we... about our family and stuff. My screen saying 5, and you said 2 more, so that's 2 more.
Come on.
You ready?
In the room.
Miss Cox said they could have asked me, laugh out loud. Lovely, honest Christian family, hard working, will give to anyone. Oh, thank you for that. I think that's true. It's really true.
I know it to be true.
Hey, Miss Jackie. So you want to shoot for 4 more? Or you want to go and get started?
No.
Put the thing up some. I'll put it up. Oh, let me get out this janky Wi-Fi. It's a little blurry. I'm going to get out this janky Wi-Fi. Because the good Lord knows it's janky, very janky. Our nanny is coming through the door to pick up Gigi. Hope she don't come here with all that loudness, because she know how to be loud, husbands and I. Camera just a little bit. All right. Hey, Chloe. So, we are... This our oldest child. She just getting from her basketball game. Her name is Zanaya. You have anything you want to tell them about you and your position in this family?
I'm the bonus child.
Bonus?
Yeah, basically. I'm supposed to...
How long you been in our family?
Oh.
14 years.
I was say I don't really know to be.
How long can you remember?
Um,
Since you can remember,
I know 10 plus years. I just don't know the exact.
you gotta come on up soon.
TT, I look terrible right now.
Okay. All right. So
You throw that cup away.
she don't want to talk to y'all. Honestly, she doesn't. But we've been getting a few messages asking like people asking for more information on our family. Miss Cotton said forever. True that.
Right
True
now.
that, Miss Cotton.
Miss Cotton, no.
And so today tonight we decided we're going to do a live to try to give y'all a little background information on us and where, who we are or whatever. And we're going to start off with Brother Gabe, just let him, because I talk a lot. He doesn't talk a lot, so we're going to let him tell his little piece, and then I'll do the rest, or I'll interject if he needs me to.
Tell my little piece.
Because you don't have much to say. You always quiet. Until you get the music or the camera rolling. So the camera is on, so show the people you. Because they think I be putting you up to all this clowning you've been doing lately.
It's me.
True.
In the flesh.
Very much so, in the flesh.
I mean, what do they want to know?
They said tell us some background. We need to know some background on your family, or tell us a little bit more about your family. Can I learn more about your background? Different stuff like that. Because they're not getting any of our bank account information, so
No.
they got to know where we came from.
Hey,
And if you're tuning in, please share this live to help us get more viewers. I pretty much do all the talking.
That's brother.
This is Bubby. How you know?
He got her phone.
Oh, okay. She do all the talking. She does all the talking, Junior.
Come on, get me going, baby.
Babe, I can't get you going. You gotta get yourself going. You know how disgusting that sounds.
You got to prime me.
I'm not priming nothing.
Why you yelling? Oh, you know I snuck in.
Okay, so I'm Anna, and this is Gabe. He calls himself King A, and he calls me Queen A. So if you ever see Queen A and King A on something, that's because that's what he has. Just a second, guys. Sir.
Wait. What Gigi? Who house Gigi went to?
Go ask Gigi.
I asked. She said no.
Okay, well, then I'm on live right now. You interrupted me in this. I'm talking.
She said I should get this.
Okay.
It's a name. It's a manager.
It's getting ready to go in storage. Now, can we get back to the live? It's impossible for us to do this without any interruption from our children because they gonna interrupt. So just be patient with us, okay? Okay, so I am Mrs. A, Queen A, and he calls himself King A and Mr. A. I call him Senior. Typically, he calls me Marie. And what else? And Mama.
Babe.
And Bae. And we have been together since we were 16 and 17 years old. Now, you can start there.
So that's about 18 years. 18 hard, long years.
You said I had to pump and prime you, sir. I got you where you need to be. Talk to the people. How about when you first saw me? And how we met and stuff.
Oh, well.
Miss Cotton said, tell them how you all started from little
Yeah,
or nothing and how you... Oh, that's gonna make me... Listen, don't come on here making me cry, okay? Because I'm gonna cry if y'all get to getting all... Our people from hometown, I'm gonna cry if y'all get to getting all mushy with me. Yeah, I'm not gonna cry. I'm a big dog. I'm a big dog. Okay, come on, baby. I'm gonna cry.
She'll cry, baby.
Oh, just got us banned. Ew, my fish just... Woo! Woo!
I'm going to pray for your hands.
Not to study water no more.
Study water no more.
Please keep sharing, y'all, so the people can come in.
What?
Can y'all hear us over the dog barking? Let us know. She just came in. How you gonna put her out? And if she come in here, she gonna get on Victoria, so you can't let her on the couch.
No, she ain't coming in here. She going out there in the back. They said they can do this. Okay.
He can't concentrate with the dog barking, y'all. Go on, let her out. So they can see you sashay across the floor with her. And you just sashay, put her in there. Let me open the back door so he can make this speedily. Share, you guys. Help people come into the room. Gigi, someone said hi. Gigi's getting ready to go with Nanny Jalee. Nanny Jalee is here to pick Gigi up. I don't know what they got going on. And Sister Chloe.
Why you look like that?
Jalee, I'm having an allergic reaction. Everything hurt.
I'm gonna tell you to be eating stuff you ain't got no business.
I didn't know I wasn't supposed to have business eating. Look at her. There come Asha, y'all. Look over the couch so y'all can see her dancing with her
I should
daddy.
think she human.
Look
right
at her.
now. Cause she be
Say hey to
walking
the
on
people.
her back.
Asha, say hey to the
Say hey
people.
to the people. Look. Say hey to the people.
She a big old grown woman.
Bye, Asha.
She don't want to go outside. She gonna open the door like she grown. Oh Lord, see, this is the kind of stuff we deal with, y'all. These the moments I capture, just innocent moments around our house, and I share them with you all. Family and friends have been telling us for years,
I'm back in 2 shoes, y'all.
and stop hopping before you crack that toe back in half.
She's never opened the door while I was here.
People have been saying, because all our children are funny, honestly. They just say any old craziness. And I usually type out a long post about it, and people have been telling me to record because they don't believe these children say this stuff. So I started recording them.
Ooh, both of y'all.
Now we're waiting on my husband to tell y'all about our life or whatever he got to say. It's not going to be much. I give him 3 minutes and he'll be done. He's going to spend most of that 3 minutes thinking about what he's going to say.
That's it. I'm like the late, great F.L. Smith.
Uh-oh. He finna cry, y'all. This is old past.
No, that's my TV.
Well, what was I at?
You never started. What you mean, where were you at?
Oh, you said how we met.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny how we met. Actually, we met long before we got together. We just didn't realize it.
Girl, really?
Oh,
We did. Didn't we?
I know. Come on, tell the people. I didn't know you were going to start there.
Oh, but we're gonna fast forward to when we were 16 or 17 years old when I went in her house and swept off her feet. She was sweeping the floor and I swept her off her feet.
Baby, I should have been a fly on the wall.
But we met. It was in 2004, right?
No, they did.
Yes.
Yeah, 2004. We met in 2004. My older cousin was dating her older sister. So, and I had a vehicle and he didn't. He had pattern turn. You know what that is. But I had a vehicle and he didn't. So he was needing a ride to go see my sister-in-law, my now sister-in-law, the oldest sister, Jessica. So I took him over to their house. So no, he was gonna hook us up. That was gonna be his ride. So he was gonna hook us up. And they said they needed somebody to keep her quiet because she was getting on to me, and they needed somebody for her to get her out of their business. That's what it was.
Why are your other shoes here?
But so I took him over there one night, and I walked into no backwards. I didn't walk into nothing. I stayed outside. I was shy, I still am sometimes, but I cut up a little bit. But how did I?
You broke it?
How did what?
Did you put them where they go correctly?
Oh, I know. I sent a picture of me in the house. That's what it was. And the pitcher swept off her feet. And then I came in behind with the slam dunk. And she was like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then I demanded her to give me her phone number. Didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The one I still carry in my wallet to this day.
He didn't demand, he asked.
No, I demanded.
Oh.
I demanded.
So if I would have said no, what you would have done?
You weren't gonna say no. I wasn't prepared for no.
Oh. Okay.
It wasn't gonna be a no. It wasn't going to be a no. But I mean, long story short, I mean, after that day, we've been rocking and rolling ever since. I was 17, she was 16. Yeah, I was 17, she was 16. And ever since that day, we've been through some, man, even at that age, through a lot of stuff. I had to let her tell y'all.
We ain't gonna be able to tell these people all this in one night now.
Oh,
they gonna have to ask for, we can try. So how long you expecting this to be?
No, we ain't gonna tell them all that one night.
They gonna get overwhelmed and run away.
Yeah.
You done?
Yeah.
You sure? Okay, so.
If I think of something else, I'll butt in.
Okay, just gotta raise your hand. Hey, Miss Keisha. So, as he said, you gotta raise your hand. You can't be interrupting me. You know I don't like being interrupted. You know that's a pet peeve. Please, as you come in, Shay, don't start now. If y'all come in comments clowning, it's gonna take us longer than that. Okay, make sure y'all tune in and share the live when y'all get where y'all going. Okay, like he said, he came to my house at 16. I had just gotten back from my dad.
You was 16.
I was 16. He was 17. I had just gotten back from my dad, and at that time, I decided I wasn't gonna date anymore. I was just gonna, talk to boys because I never really dated before him. Well, whatever. And I decided I was just gonna be alone and chill because relationships just weren't for me. Dudes just weren't for me.
Can I go
Yeah, ask them.
Now you saying that
So, and then like he said, my oldest sister was dating his first cousin. They were like this, like they were really tight. And then we had one of his cousins that lived up the world from us. And I always been a little mama. I had no choice but to be a little mama because I was helping to raise my younger siblings. And they were like, I'm too mean, I fuss too much, I talk too much. They gonna get somebody to shut me up. They know what I need. I need a dude in my life to shut me up. And so, yes, he did send a picture in there, y'all. When I tell y'all that man was so handsome on that picture. It was from his junior prom. His eyes were just like angelic to me. Like when I looked at the picture, that was the first thing that caught my attention. Were his eyes. And I was like, oh yes, where he at? Seen him on in here. I'll talk to him. I was cooking and cleaning up. He always says that, what you tell the people when they ask you, how long did you know it was going to take me to be how long did it take you to know I was your wife?
When I first laid eyes on her, she was cooking and cleaning.
And I wish that, that would have really stuck with me a long time ago because we probably wouldn't be married because I didn't want to be a cooking and cleaning wife. I didn't even want to, okay, off that soapbox. That's another story for another day. So I was cooking, I think, was it pork chop, rice and gravy or neck bones, rice and gravy?
It was pork chop.
Pork chop, rice and gravy. And I was sweeping the floor with the straw broom, sweeping carpet with the straw broom. And he says in that moment when he saw me, he knew. What did I have on, babe?
What did you have on?
Yeah.
It was some blue jeans. I think they had stars on the pocket or something.
And what else?
Ain't that right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had the blue jeans. They had stars on the pockets.
That's all, because I don't even know. I think I had on a white shirt, but I'm not really sure.
I think it was a white t-shirt.
But that was my favorite pair of jeans. I wore those jeans until, at first fight.
First sight.
Yeah, I was thinking about going to a woman, Nick. I was like, I'm just gonna be gay, but I didn't even know what that entails. So how could I do that? You nasty because you know everything. You low down dirty rascal. So that was the thing that I said though, because I had been through so much at that young age with dudes. Dudes were so cruel and so mean. And honestly, I just wanted someone to care about me and love me for me. And all the dudes that I talked to before then, that wasn't the case. Like, it was always something extra, which I shouldn't have been talking to dudes at that young age anyway.
Exactly. Carry on.
Let's talk about you and the girls that was taking advantage of you. Don't talking about no. We were each other's answer to prayers. Well, I was whatever, because I don't even know if the man was praying. But we had been together for a while. I was, like I said, I was helping to raise my younger siblings. And when I would go spend the weekends with him and stuff, his parents would watch my siblings. They would always welcome my young siblings in their home. And as he stated, it was a lot of stuff that we had to go through. Dealing with, the different family opinions and ideas of what our relationship should look like, and the image that they had built for Gabe and what they wanted Gabe to be, and I didn't fit into that image. So it was always a struggle. But his parents made sure that they kept my they kept my nieces, my sisters and brothers, and that we had time together to build our bond. I think we started talking about marrying one another immediately. I know before I turned 17, I was asking my parents if I could be signed over to marry him. Because at the time you had, I don't know, that's probably still a thing. You can't get married until you're 18 years old. And we just knew we wanted to be married. But we didn't get married at 17. A part of our journey includes me dropping out of high school and him making me work in a potato field because he told me he didn't want a dumb wife. Because I was really reprobated, wasn't I, babe?
You said it.
Oh, you don't want to say that now since your children been telling you were rude to me when we were younger, huh?
You said that.
Well, I was rowdy. I come from a pretty rowdy family. Fighting. I'm just speaking from my personal experience. Fighting, stealing, going off on people at school. I was the third born of 10 children and the first to graduate high school. What else we used to do? Fight, steal. I have cooked crack before when I was a little girl. I made crack before when I was a little girl at one of my auntie's house. So they can kind of tell you how rowdy of a lifestyle I lived. I was always short. So when they used to have the drinking parties, our older cousins used to send my little brother and I down the hallway to steal the liquor and bring back to the room. So I come from a pretty rowdy family. Gabe's family, I can't say that he has a calm family either, but Gabe is just a calm person. If you see us going live at our family events with the Aikens, you hear a lot of noise, you see a lot of talking, a lot of cursing and carrying on. But Gabe has just never been that. Like, he's always been kind of reserved and laid back. Now, he cuts up. I have to give him that. But he doesn't like when he told me that he didn't want a drunk wife, I was like, how you don't want a drunk wife when your mama drink every day? And he was like, you not my mama, and I'm not marrying my mama. I'm marrying you. So because at 16 years old, I was pretty far off in my alcoholism. I don't know who lipstick this is, but at 16, I was pretty far off in alcoholism as well. That's just how rowdy our family was. And I mean, I just want to give y'all a picture of, how this marriage, we went through so much at 16 and 17 years old. Like, we started dating in September. In October, our home burned down. And I had to go stay at his house. Myself and a couple of his siblings. We were left with nothing after that fire. And it was just, our relationship started on chaos. He had a car accident not long after we started dating. And those things pulled us closer together. After we had been together about 3.5 years, maybe 3 years, he bought me a bedroom set. And my bio mom snitched and told my dad. Well, honestly, let me make sure I get this clear. I would go to Gabe's house every weekend. And even through everything that I've had to endure with my bios, I always kept a strong connection with my dad. And I talk to my dad all the time. So when I started dating Gabe, and of course I had just came back with my dad from that summer because of a violent, whatever had happened, the abuse situation. And my dad was calling to check on me regularly because he told me that time when I went with him that from that day forward, my home was with him. It didn't matter what it looked like. That's what my home was. And I would have to come back at any time. And he didn't need me to forget that. So when I met Gabe, he would call every weekend. And when I got back home, they would say, Daddy called for you. And I would be like, okay, I'll call him. But I never called. One day I'm in there asleep. And Gabe's mama said, girl, your dad on the phone. I was like, tell him I'm not here. Tell him I'm not here. She said, I already told him. I already told him you here. And I'm like, oh, this is about to be bad. Because I probably was like 12 or 13 when my daddy told me if I fornicate, I'm going to hell. So I'm like, he know I've been standing at this dude's house. This is about to be ugly. But I got on the phone. He asked me what I was doing and what I was doing down there. He never even fussed at me about it, honestly. But he did tell me that he needed to meet this Gabe. So they met, and from the day he met Gabe, he told me that Gabe was going to be great. He saw him being a pastor, and Gabe was supposed to go to college to be an attorney. And my daddy, like, he told him, Gabe, you say you're going to be an attorney, right? If you're going to be an attorney, don't ever let me catch you without a pen on you again. You remember that? So, probably about 3 years of dating, we moved into our home on Forest, where I had finally put my sister out of my bedroom completely. I would always put her out the bedrooms because she just never did what she was supposed to do. Jessica, yeah, that one. And she's older than me, but we had to share rooms, and I just had to keep putting her out. So after I put her out, we had bunk beds, and Gabe went and got me a whole bedroom set. He had his mom and dad to take him to what they used to call Larry's Furniture in Bastrop. And he went and got me a bedroom set. When he got the bedroom set, my dad told my bio that they may as well go and get married. They buying bedroom sets, and at the time I was buying like carburetors for Gabe's car, and like we just used to ball out on one another. He's like, they might as well go and get married. They're buying each other car parts and doing this and doing this. And at the time, I had went back to high school. So let me tell y'all about the potato field. So I was 16, and I knew that at 17, you could drop out of school. Nobody could make you go to school at 17. But your parent had to. That's true too, Shay. Because that doggone bunk bed was giving us the blues. Do you hear me? That bunk bed was giving us the blues. But we made it work. As teenagers, we made it work, baby. But I sat in math class one day and said I was dropping out of school as soon as I turned 17. And at the time, Gabe's best friend and cousin was dating one of the girls that I was talking to, like we were close or whatever. And she went and told that boy what I said, and that man told Gabe what I said. And I got out of school that day. He used to pick me up from school. He was like, so he always talked like this. So you planning on dropping out of school, huh? And I was like, yep. And he was like, you're not going to do that. And I was like, yes, I am. And he's like, you're not dropping out of school. Don't nobody want no dumb wife. Just like that. Plain and clear. And I was like, okay, sure. I want to drop out. But at the same time, I was already creating my plan in my head. I knew if I missed 5 or more days without an excuse, they would drop me out of school. Well, guess what your girl did as soon as she turned 17? Missed those days. And when I went back to school, they told me they had dropped me. I was like, yippee! Like, I was happy because that's what my brother and sister had did. And school was stressful. Like, if you raised in poverty, you don't have everything you need. Like, I got bullied a lot in school, too. And I stayed in trouble a lot because, of course, I was from a rowdy background. So if anybody said I looked at them, breathed at them, or smelled them the wrong way, they was going to call me in the office, and I was going to be in trouble for it. And I got tired of getting embarrassed because my bio would come up there punching the people's walls. Every time they said she had to bring me back to school, then they be like, they wonder why she act the way she do. Her mama ain't got no sense either. Like, that kind of stuff will weigh heavy on it. And then when you have teachers that know your living situations and they talk about, you know, your mama got a lot of kids. I wonder if she gonna let me carry one of her kids on my income taxes. How many food stamps y'all get? Different stuff like that. That stuff weighed heavily on me. So I didn't want to go to school. So that man made me go work in that potato field. And y'all know I'm blind. Y'all see these thick glasses. Y'all see these big glasses. So he made me work in the potato field from sun up. We work from sun up to sundown every day. And the tub would be just about black with dirt before I go home, before I got home. Which I had already mentioned one time prior to us going in the potato field, asking the bio, could she re-register me in school? Because when I went to his prom, it just was like, this is something that I want to experience, my senior prom, because experiencing his senior prom was just extraordinary. So after that potato field situation, baby, them people, it was some people out there like 60 and talking about what they was doing in potato field when they were 20 years old. Them people paying us like $5.30 an hour. Mm-hmm. And we was working 12 hours a day. Our check be $200 or $300 at the end of the week. I was like, my bio can go work agency and make $240. I'm not finna do this. So I asked her to register me back in school. Thank you for the stars, Shay. Appreciate them. I asked her to register me back in school. She registered me back in school, and I was 17 with a 1.73 GPA. They said that the principal told me I'm going to be in the 9th grade, which the next year I would have went to the 11th grade, right? The next year I would go to the 11th grade. I would have enough credits because the credits that I was getting, because I was reprobated and not going to school, they were F6 in me, even though I had A's in those classes without even being in school all the time. So I had a 1.73 GPA, and I was able to go back to school as a freshman. He said I'd be a grown-up compared to a lot of the children I would be in the class with. He was going to check on me at the end of the year. If I was causing any trouble, he was kicking my tail up out of his school.
Who was that?
Mr. Thrower. And Dr. German, who was my counselor at the time. And Lord knows I thank God for that woman so much, because it was so many days I went to school crying. And she would just see me at the front door, and she would just let me in her office to literally just cry it out. Like, when I made the decision to go back to school, it was my decision. Other than Gabe and his family and my dad. My daddy would always be on the phone and stuff. And my older sister, she was always there as well. Nobody else was going to push me to go to school. And it was days when I had to walk to school in the rain because my husband wasn't able to come take me to school. It was days I had to walk to school in the rain. It was days when we didn't even have power and gas in our house because of my brother's decisions. So it was hard to finish school, but I said whatever I had to do, I was going to graduate from high school. And I knew that I had my younger siblings looking up to me. And I didn't want to, that was, at the time, 5 children under me. And I didn't want to set them up for failure. I wanted to be, once I talked to my counselor and once I talked to the principal and Miss Cooper, that was one of my teachers. She did a great job at encouraging me as well. Once I talked to them and my father-in-law let me know that I had their support, like, it just motivated me to want more, and it motivated me to want to do more. And I remember one time my counselor told me that she was going to get me out of Morehouse Parish if it took everything in her. She was going to let me go out to school so I could see a different part of life, and I would want more out of life. I messed that up on purpose. But at 3 years of being married, when Gabe brought me that bed, that's when my daddy came, and he was like, oh, I was so embarrassed. I'll never forget it. He asked Gabe, were we having sex? And Gabe said, yeah. And I wanted to. Ooh, I was so mad. I was like, why would you say that? And he was like, what you want me to do, lie to the man? Exactly. So my dad was like, well, if y'all having sex, y'all need to think about whatever I'm supposed to say on Facebook. Y'all need to think about what you're going to do and what you're going to be with one another. And eventually we started back talking about marriage again because it was hard. Our relationship wasn't of course, if you're a teenager and you're dating someone, you know that the relationship is not going to be easy. I was wild and crazy, and I would fight him at the drop of the dime. And he would always tell me, one day you're going to hit me, and you're not going to have me anymore. One day you're going to talk to me like that, and you're not going to have me anymore. So eventually I got to the point where I stopped that, but it was always crazy. And eventually we decided that we were going to get married. And he did not give me a proper proposal. So I'm waiting on it any day before this 15-year vow renewal. Hint, hint. Because we're getting ready to go out on Valentine's Day of that year, which we were already planning a wedding at this time. But I said if he didn't ask me to marry him, I wasn't marrying him.
I got how long? Let's see.
He over here playing, y'all. You know how long you got. It's January. We got married in September last time. We get married in September again. And so he tapped me on my shoulder and was like, just gave me the ring. And I was like, no, I ain't marrying you. And he didn't, like he said, he wasn't expecting no for an answer. He knew I was going to marry him. So,
taking it, Gianna.
That whole situation was crazy, us getting married, because everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people felt like we were too young to get married. And he pretty much had to pay for the wedding out of his own money, on his own. We didn't have any help from anyone. Babe, I don't want no ring pop. Thank you, brother. This my brother, Little Wayne, y'all, on here. But, so, look at that. We can't keep the children down and can't keep the dog out. It's always somebody. Something. But they pulled the big guns to keep us from getting married. But we ended up getting married anyway. Thank God. Because we really wanted to be married to one another. And I remember Gabe's favorite person in this whole wide world asking him, what's the rush? Because the goal was for her to come and talk us out of getting married. And he said, it's not a rush. We've waited long enough. Like, we've been together almost 5 years. We've waited long enough. We're going to go ahead and get married. So we got married. And when we first got married, Gabe wasn't going to church with me. I can remember my pastor at the time. So this is to answer somebody's question. So when we first got married, we were staying in the Bio's house, one of our houses, because at the time she was staying somewhere else. So we were staying in that house with my sister. And then after about a month or two, their house burned where they were staying. And I knew that my bio and siblings would have to come back there. But I didn't want to be in the house as a married woman wearing with all them children all the time. So that day I was like, hey, we got to find a house. We had applied for an apartment in my projects where I grew up at, because that's what I knew. And I knew I could get a house over there easily. But what happened was they waited until after we got married so they could include his income. And they wanted to charge us like $285 a month to live there. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to go stay over there in no yard. And I was like, hey, we're not doing that. And so my cousin, she's passed on. She's always been influential in my life. Her name was Deborah White. I call her my TT cousin, Deb. She was like, thank you, Lord. I'm so thankful y'all didn't get that apartment. Because you just don't know. Those husbands over there would have been chasing Gabe. And that would have been an issue for y'all. I'm glad y'all didn't get that apartment. Y'all didn't need to move over there anyway. So Gabe's mom and dad were always like supportive for us. So they knew this elderly man in our town, and he had a trailer to come open, and we moved into that trailer. But at the time, I was easing my way back into church. I hadn't been in church a lot, but I've been in church pretty much my whole life. Like, that's just a part of who I am. That's my sanity, honestly. If I didn't have God, I probably wouldn't be alive. So Gabe wanted her to come to church, and finally one day I was telling him, if we don't go to church, we don't do the do. You remember that? Mm-hmm. I was like, we're not finna do that. Because my pastor was preaching all the time on, if you're married, your spouse should be in church with you. And I used to always tell him, like, I'm not doing that. So the only way I could get him to go to church was through his parents. Because their pastor only had church one Sunday a month. So if they was going one Sunday a month, then I could use that kind of through to my advantage and get him to come some other times. And so eventually he kind of started coming to church with me, and we would go to his church on fourth Sundays. And even his mom and dad, everybody that went to our old church can tell you this. His mom and dad would come to church with us on first, second, and third, and fifth Sundays, right? And we would go to their church on fourth Sundays. And anytime whoever had a program at their church, that's how we worked it out so that he could be in church. And eventually he started to like my cousin Michael, which is Deb's brother. Michael would always, kind of interact with Gabe, try to help him feel a part of the church. At the time Nick was playing the drums, Nick would try to encourage him and help him to feel a part of the church. So it was just like specific individuals at the church that would try to encourage him and build him up into the church. And eventually he jumped on board. He started going to church more, started interacting with the youth more. He loves to drive and he loves to travel. So church trips were always a go for him. Like, he loved that kind of stuff. And we started there with church, and which sometimes it was hard. I know that I always tell, anytime someone talks to me about marriage, I tell them, if you don't want to get close to God, don't get married. Because marriage is going to keep you on your hands and your face, praying for your husband and your marriage if you really love your spouse. And that's one thing that I can say. In the worst of times, I always went to God. And of course, my daddy don't believe in me leaving Gabe. So he get wind or anything, he on my tail.
That's a no-go.
What's a no-go?
Leaving Gabe.
Yeah, my daddy not going for that.
Nope.
Not my body daddy, but my dad, he be like, if y'all separate, I'm just going to have to work my fingers to the bone and make sure my daughter and my grandchildren have the same lifestyle that they live. That's what he tell me. But my daddy, he be like, no! I rebuke the devil! So, around about year 5 of us being married, someone asked about how did we get to where we are in church now and stuff. So around about year 5 of us being married, it just got pretty bad at my old church. It got so, like, I saw a lot of things that I didn't want for my marriage, and I just started to go back to my church that I went to when I was a child. Like, God was telling me that it was time for me to go back to my childhood church, and that's where we go to church now. Sent 50 stars. Thank you, Miss Cotton. Thank you for the stars, hon. Look at him. He can see good, y'all. My eyes were that good. But I felt a strong pull to go back to my home church. And gradually, I started going back. And then one Sunday, it was actually one weekend, Gabe had the biggest tantrum at the pastor's sister wedding. And I told him, I said, you know what? I'm not walking back into that hellhole with you no more. I'm leaving this church. And that Sunday, I asked him, was he driving or was he getting dropped off? No, was he getting dropped off or was he going to get someone to pick him up? And he was like,
oh.
Look at him asking me like we're not on camera and I'm supposed to tell him out loud in front of all these people. But it was just like stuff like that. Every time it was time for something, it was an argument or something. And God was using those events and those things to show me that it was time for us to move. And I left and I went to my church and I haven't been back. And after that Sunday, he started coming with me. He didn't want to come, but I feel like me standing on my face and hands, praying to God, crying out to God, because I cry to God more than I cry to anybody. You need to cry to him more. I never stopped praying for my husband. There have been several times in our marriage. I know at the 5th anniversary mark, the 7th anniversary mark, and the 11th anniversary mark, we were knocking on divorce's doors. The 11th was the closest we've ever been. That's when I first started going to therapy and stuff. And I was done. I didn't want to do it anymore. Hey, Nina. I didn't want to do it anymore. I was tired of being married to him. I was tired of trying to communicate with him and he feeling like it was an attack. And I was just done. Like, I wasn't healthy. I didn't feel like, at that point, I didn't feel like I should have been married because I never should have been married as a broken little girl. Anyway, I didn't feel like I should be a mom. I didn't feel like I should be any of that. Like, I had to go through all of that as a part of my healing process. I'm still healing. And I was done. Like, that, me and my daddy got so bad into it that time because I told him I was leaving his son-in-law, baby. And I told him he ain't got to like it, he ain't got to love, but that just is what it is because I'm sick of it. Baby, I think that man prayed so hard for me that day. Because he had like I was sinning against him as him being my dad or something. By saying I was leaving that black man. But, yeah, all of that has led us closer to God. And just knowing that both of us were raised in poverty. Were you raised in poverty? Because that's something you don't ever say. And I don't want to say it if you don't feel comfortable with it. Both of us were raised in poverty. I was raised in a
different kind of poverty.
What?
Just a different kind of poverty.
Your poverty wasn't like my poverty, huh? Both of us were raised in poverty. In Morehouse Parish, just different areas of the parish. I was raised in the projects, 36E. Whoop, whoop. I thank God for the projects because I made some friendships that I haven't made friendships or built bonds since leaving the projects like I built when I was living in the projects. There's one thing that I can honestly say. Because in the projects, you don't really have to make friends with everybody. Everybody poor, everybody eating mud pies, and you just become friends and building clubhouses in the woods. And you just become friends. You're not purposely eating mud pies, but you just become friends. So you don't have to introduce yourself and all of that. Like the people that live next door to us, those were our ace born coons. It was 4 of them and 5 of us at the time. He don't kill Lil Wayne. He crazy. And, just looking back, like even just thinking about, us getting the trailer, the first trailer house that we had. It had a big kitchen in it. To me, it seemed big at the time with a little bar on it. Everybody loved being at that house. And I'll post the pictures of our first home leading up to this home on this page after this live or whenever I find them.
You go.
Somebody come get their son because this man's over here cutting up.
You go.
So I'll find those pictures. But just that trailer, that was something that I never imagined living in and having at that time in my life. And I was just satisfied with that. I was grateful for that. And then we got Zanaya when she was 3. And then Gigi was born. And it was too small. And I think after 2011 when my nephew passed, that was when I was like, Gabe, I got to get out of this house. Right?
That's it.
When my nephew passed, I couldn't live in the trailer anymore because I was living right at the horrific scene of his where he left here at. And my dad told my aunt that he needed us in that house when the house became available. And we moved in that, how many square feet?
I can't remember.
I would say 1,100, but Gabe said 1,300.
Like 13, yeah, 13.
Gabe said 1,300. I still say 11. The other 2 must be the carport. Because that house, like now, it wasn't small when we first went and saw it. Because at the time, Zanaya was with my brother and Gigi was with us. Hey, y'all, share the live. The video's going down.
That's what the video said. I mean, that's what the paper say. 1,300.
Make sure y'all sharing the live, please. So we moved in there. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. At the time we moved there, I was still I was in my associate's program at Delta. Gabe been working on the railroad since before he proposed. He proposed to me with his railroad money and got my ring for the proposal, and that's how he paid for our wedding too, with the railroad money. We didn't have no money management skills.
I worked like a dog.
He worked like a dog to pay for that ring, and I still don't know my ring yet to this day. When I had baby Gabe, it disappeared. I still long for it because that was the first ring he proposed to me with, so I wanted to keep my ring forever. But we didn't have any money management skills. Gabe paid everybody bills. And so we lived in that trailer for as long as we could. And then we moved into this new house. Credit shot, nada. We stayed there as long as we could. After I got my associate's degree, we just continued to work to climb the ranks. Like, it was never easy for us. We never had a lot of support, like financial support. At first, we had like my mother-in-law and father-in-law that would help as much as, because I know when I was in the associate's program, they would come and get the children. No, the children would get off the child care bus at their house or Head Start bus at their house. That was when they got older, because my dad kept them when Gigi was first born and I went back to school because nobody else would keep them. So my daddy came down here and kept them, put them on the bus and all that good stuff. Thank God for him, because, it was just horrible. I thought I was going to die. And so we always had somebody living with us for some odd reason once we moved. Everywhere we moved to, except here. Because we didn't let nobody move in here. We made that vow to our marriage and to God, right? Right. I have to lay hands on him because he'll move somebody in without telling me, right? Pray and say, in the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus.
Right.
In the name of Jesus. Say it. Say, in the name of Jesus.
IJN.
So, every house we moved in, we never, for the first 12 years of our marriage, we never lived by ourselves. Wait a minute, this gonna be 15. We only been living here a year. It'll be 2 years. The first 13 years of our marriage, we never lived in our home alone and with just our children. We always had someone living with us. And at one time, in that 1,100 square feet house, we had up to 10 people living there at one time. But I believe that's our ministry. Like, being there for people when they don't have anyone else. Because more than anyone, we know what it feels like to not have anyone else there and to not have the support that we need. So we have always helped others. We've always, even when we had nothing, if it was nothing but helping the neighbors move stuff. What else we do? If our neighbors, we always have had elderly neighbors. When we stayed in the trailer, we had Miss Betty and Miss Sharon on either side of us. Miss Betty is actually our aunt, Titi Betty. And Miss Sharon was just the other neighbor. Her and what's her husband name, Mr. Mike? Mm-hmm. Whatever they asked us to do, we always did it. We moved on roads, we had Miss Bestie and Mr. Hughes. Whatever they asked us to do, we always did. Mostly him, because most of the neighbors don't ever really know me. They be thinking the children me, because I stay in the house a lot. And just, being there, helping people. But at the same time, we were helping people, but we were neglecting one another. We weren't bonding. We weren't spending that time together. We weren't having those nurturing and building relationship moments with our children, because we always had someone else in our home, and it wasn't a lot of space in the 1,300 square foot home. And it just naturally bled over into our careers, like us being good people and helping people and building people up. Like, before we knew it, we were just out in the community, like, hey, here we go. It's Gabe and Anna and the crew. Just gyrating all over the place, as he would say. In our hometown, just working, finding events to work and be a light and empower families and stuff. And even though I don't have that job title anymore, that's something that we still do. We still try to be a light. He'll have people calling me. I don't even be knowing these people, asking me questions about different stuff with early childhood. He was just outside the other night in the flood. You can go look on the reels. Out here getting cars from unstuck and stuff. He done went outside and met the new neighbor, because they out there trying to save the day like they Superman. He just pouring water out his boots. No, guess what he was the next day? Sick. Coughing. Knowing he not supposed to be out there in that water like that. See, brother, that's why y'all good like that. Knowing he not supposed to be out there in that water like that. He out there in that water helping people get out the stuff and stuff. Talking about some honey, come out. Sir, you supposed to be getting my medicine from the Walgreens. You still out here? Because he couldn't get out the driveway. He just went out there and moved out the other cars. Like, moving the cars was going to help him get out the driveway. But I believe that us having that heart, and I don't care. It's so hard for me sometimes. Like, even in the last month, God has been speaking to me, telling me to step up. Because I just try to remain humble in everything. Because I know what it feels like to have nothing. I know what it feels like to not have a meal every day. I know what it feels like to only have flour and water and lard to make biscuits out of for everybody to get a bite off of. I know what it feels like to not have electricity. I know what it feels like to not have a car, to only walk everywhere you go. So I know what it feels like to share a room with multiple children. I know what it feels like to have to sleep on the floor. I know what it feels like to feel like garbage. And so none of the materialistic things that God has blessed me with take that from me. Like, I stay humble. I remember whenever I got my car, it wasn't last year. I got that truck and I was just blown away at how God had moved for me to get that car. And I just kept asking Gabe, baby, are they going to come pick up the truck? Are they going to come pick up the truck? And he was like, you need to relax. Like, that's our car. As long as we pay the note on it, nobody's going to come and take it from us. But I told Gabe that's what we finna get. A big jacked up truck. The next time I start. So from now when this water get high, we're going to be rolling in the water. Well, not really, because we notice how the water gets pushed up into people's houses and yards and stuff when it's really a lot of water. But we definitely getting us a truck sitting up here. Because I'm not finna be dealing with this. I needed my medicine and he couldn't go get it because that water was high.
Jack Scooter Bug.
Nah, Scooter Bug ain't going up that high now. If that truck go up that high, it's going to tilt over.
Jack Scooter Bug up.
So, I said all that about knowing all this different stuff. As I said in the beginning of the video, I know how to make crack. So if I ever want to hustle, I got one. I know how to make, like, I know you got to hold a spoon in a certain position over a certain dish to make sure that it goes into a ball.
I don't know nothing about that.
But I didn't say you did.
Make it clear. I don't know nothing about that.
This was my childhood.
So MPD, if y'all watching, I don't know nothing.
I know how to steal if I need to steal. Like, because I had to steal sometime to get close. The last time I stole something, I was with Gabe, and I don't think he even knows this, but this was when our house burned. I sure will call you next time, brother. We didn't get, like, it's like it was taking forever to get clothes after our house burned. And I went into Walmart in Bastrop. That was when it was the old Walmart. And I didn't know that they had put scissors on the clothes. And I got me a pair of jeans, and I was going out the store with them. But I had them tucked, like, under my jacket. And I was still a child, so can't nothing be done about it now, I don't think. Can I go to jail for this?
When was this?
You weren't at the store with me, but we were dating. He never knew that I was a thief. I couldn't tell him that he probably wouldn't be with me right now. But, I mean, people don't understand. A lot of children go to jail every year for stealing. Sometimes that's the only option they have. Now, the parents will say they don't have no reason to be stealing, but the same parents the one that's not getting them what they need. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, I was stealing me a pair of pants because I needed some blue jean pants, and I hadn't got any more since the house burned. So, I went into Walmart. Because if you turn me in, I'm going to jail. I went into Walmart and got me a pair of pants, and I was going out the front door with them, and an alarm thing went off. And and the thing went off, and they was like, come back, baby. I was running out that store full speed, and that was the day I knew you don't need to steal no more, sis. So I didn't after that, thank God. But I mean, I can say that about my children because they just want to do something stupid. But can't nobody say you had no reason to steal when you don't know. I mean, that's why I'm the way I am about my brothers. Don't say nothing to me about my brothers because you don't know what we had to live through. You don't know why they the way they are. People can say that they're grown, they should make better decisions now. But what people don't understand is trauma stunts growth. And the amount of trauma that we sustain and live through, I'm thanking God that my brothers, the ages they are, regardless of where they at. That's just how I look at it. And nobody's going to change my mind about that. Nobody's going to make me feel any other kind of way about that. I just feel that way. But yeah, I just know that, yes, we are living the life we're living now, but I remain humble. I remember where I came from. I oftentimes think of the days where I literally try to remember eating something. But I think salmon croquet ruined me and traumatized me so bad that it's clouding my memory of other good meals that we had as children. I know we used to have spaghetti, chicken spaghetti, turkey neck spaghetti, neck bone spaghetti, wiener spaghetti, any kind of spaghetti. But now that I'm older, I realize that you can cook a lot of spaghetti, a little spaghetti, and it'll go a long way. So I understand that more now. But we didn't eat noodles a lot because we lived in the projects, and they would keep the drain clogged up. So she wasn't buying because she said we kept clogging her drain up. But yeah, I just try to remain humble. I serve the Lord with my whole heart. I want to go to heaven, so I don't play with God. I have fun, I laugh, I play, but I do not play with God because God has kept me. And as I look back over my life and our marriage, I know that it's been nothing but God that has kept us together and sustained it, because it's been times in this marriage. Like he said, it's been some hard days. Some long, hard years. Baby, it's been hard sometimes. Well, I couldn't see day. You know how you say, I can see the sun peeking through the clouds. Oh, the sun is almost gone. Hey, Kiana. The storm is almost gone.
About to say, hold on, baby.
Baby, it's been some time when I couldn't even see the sun peeking through the clouds in this marriage. And I'd be like, Lord, please deliver me from this man and his family. Because it's still some of his family members that give me the blues, honestly. But now I'm not afraid to speak up to their tales. I go off on them. And they be trying to figure out where this animal come from. Because now, the animal that they created me to be, I react. Well, I don't react as such, but I be like, and what you gonna do? Who are you? Because you can't, what you gonna do? They be calling us the chancellors. I tell them we are the Simply Aikens. But it's been some long time. It's been some hard times.
Hey, Miss Jackie.
Sometimes I didn't feel like we was going to make it. Let me see. But the Lord led us on. The Lord kept us together. He built us up. And we're just another success. I personally believe that we're just another success story from little old Morehouse Parish, Louisiana. Because where I'm from, even the people that make it out, the statistics and the negativity of this world pull them back down. Like, people don't understand this. Once you're fighting your way out of poverty, it's hard to stay out because there's a certain perception of you. But at the end of the day, I thank God, because on New Year's Eve, I almost went back to that poverty place and beat the brakes off somebody. But the Lord sent an angel to separate me. Thank you. Who sent some stars?
Miss Cotton. Miss
Cotton, thank you for sending some more stars. Hey, Miss Jackie, you are watching. The Lord, listen. That's why I said the devil knows your appetite and your triggers. Because on New Year's Eve, I saw black. And y'all that was on here the other night when I was telling y'all about the time I ran over my little brother with my car. That's the kind of stuff that happen when I see black. I'm going to be held accountable in a court of law, but I can't be held accountable for what happens when I see black. They're just a part of my trauma and a part of where God has brought me from that I'm not even gonna say I'm not all the way delivered, because I was able to, in that split second where God sent that person to stand in front of me and give me a flash of light, I was able to see, you got this to lose, you got that to lose, you got this, you got that. And I was like, okay, Lord. I just sat my little happy self back on the floor in Indian style and let the narcissists have their way. We love you too, Miss Cotton. Let me tell y'all something.
I was gonna eat that plate for.
You was gonna eat that plate for me?
I ain't got all them degrees. Just come get me out of jail.
Yeah, I heard what he said. He big Gabe, not the little Gabe. He said he gonna take care of all my lightweight so I can keep my degrees. And you better believe I'm coming to get my man, baby.
That's right. As long as you come get me.
I'm gonna come and get you, baby. I'm not gonna let you stay in jail. I promise you that. If you go to jail, regardless of what you go to jail, well, you know the one stipulation of you going to jail.
I got you.
One thing that I don't talk about here a lot is, baby, you can tell them this since you ain't had to say much. Yeah. How many children did I want when we got married?
0. And that's not 3, that's 0.
So tell the people about that.
She didn't want any kids because she wanted to be able to eat all the cornbread by herself. So, but I didn't honor that one thing though, because I had other plans. And I was praying.
This girl to myself eat all the cornbread by herself. That's what I wanted, because I grew up in a house with a lot of children. And I always had to share the cornbread. And I love cornbread. I never finna tag her so she can tell you.
She didn't want to get married. She wanted to be the little old lady with the cats. Didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
The cats and the cornbread.
I'm trying to tag Nene in here. It won't let me. Because she the one I used to tell that to all the time. I used to cry, y'all, and tell her I'm not having children when I get grown because I'm not getting married because I want to eat all the cornbread by myself.
Yeah.
My godmom, she stayed right next door to us in the Eden Apartments. And she used to cook the best spaghetti for us. And she used to make us donuts. All we had to do was talk our mom into buying us some biscuits and some spaghetti when she got our food stamps. And she would make that for us. And she used to say, the buyer used to say she ain't buying us nothing so we can take all her food over there and let Nene eat. She don't want y'all to come over there for nothing so she can get some of my food stamps and some of my food. And I didn't care because, babe, when I tell you, she used to make the best spaghetti. To this day, when I make taco spaghetti for my children, thank you for the stars, Ree. Oh shit, I guess this mean you've been seeing it for stars for 4 weeks. But I did not want children. I haven't said this in a long time, y'all, because I really, from 2019 until we got COVID last year, I was in such a bad space with being a mom that I was really faking it until I made it. And my mama called me out on it. We went to her house. We went to Texas in February 14th, 2020. It was Valentine's Day for my sister's birthday in 2020. And she said, I noticed that you're so impatient with them lately. And you don't interact with them as much as you used to. And I was honest with her. Like, I didn't lie to her because at that point, it was 2019 when I started therapy. And I had came to the realization that I had children because someone else wanted children. No, she not. Asha barked. Asha barked. That's them children. But yeah, he wanted these children. He agreed to marry me and not have children. And then as soon as we got married, tell the people what you did as soon as we got married. And when the Lord wouldn't answer his prayer, he was making it like it was my fault we weren't getting pregnant. So my little dumb self started praying, Lord, please let this man get a baby because he's about to lose his mind. And shoes, I guess.
I got my baby.
He got his baby, the love of his life. He love her more than he love me.
No.
Baby Jabril could get every penny in that man's pocket if it ain't number 10, and that's all he got left to his name.
See, nah, that's true.
He gonna give her every penny.
That's true.
My godmom just came in. Tell them what I used to say when I was a little girl about the cornbread. Nene. That's one of my godmoms, y'all. She never took that call, and I just gave her that. Miss Cotton said it's not true. So, tell them what I used to say about the cornbread and why I wouldn't get married. We just got done talking about that because Gabe brought it up. I didn't. But I didn't want children. And after we got COVID, I couldn't hug my children and couldn't give them their good nights for right at 2 weeks. And that was a defining moment for me. Like, God showed me that I need those good nights and I have to have that time. Nah, what I was going to do about having children. Tell the people. She talking about I refuse to chill. She trying to keep it cute, y'all.
That's 1% better.
Yes, it's still Christmas here. Our Christmas lights are still on outside. On my way home, I just said, next year we starting Christmas, putting them up before Thanksgiving. We not turn them on whenever Gabe get ready. She won't tell y'all, but Gabe already told y'all. She talking about nope, laugh out loud. But I didn't get to hug my babies or kiss them for right at 2 weeks. We had to be isolated. Garrett stood at the door and cried nonstop because he's a mama's and a daddy's baby. He'll tell daddy's baby. He'll tell you that. And that's when I started. That's when I realized that, I had to. I mean, of course, I didn't want to have children. I was angry with Gabe. Like, I literally talked about leaving him and leaving the children with him. He would say, can you run this one somewhere because I'm doing it? I'd be like, no, you asked for these children. Do it yourself. Like, I didn't want to do it because this was something that he wanted. He wanted these children. But I know that the Lord gave me my children because on the days in my depression and anxiety in the weakest states, it's always Gigi that's going to come and stand by the bed. Thankfully, she hasn't had to do it in a long time. But she's going to come and stand by the bed. She's going to tap me on my shoulder and say, Mama, we still need you. And that's all I need to start fighting again. So I know that God gave me them and knew that I needed them for that. Any question? Oh, somebody said, how do I make taco spaghetti? Well, my taco spaghetti, I put hot sauce in them. But you really just season it with taco seasoning and put Rotel. Y'all had an allergic reaction last night, and that's why my voice starting to do this again. Because I couldn't hardly talk last night. She is sweet, Ree. I put taco seasoning in it and the Rotel tomatoes and stuff. And then I just, like when Nene used to make us spaghetti with that hot sauce and that ketchup in it, I just load it down with hot sauce and the children love it. Any questions? You got anything to say? That's pretty much our background in the shortest form we could give it to y'all. There was still a lot of length in that. We've been on here for 1 hour and 15 minutes. My husband said he wanted to tell y'all our whole life story. Yeah. I hope everything all right. Why you just ignoring people call? My husband. Listen, if you on my live, my husband go to bed, I get off live. I get off phone. I get off everything. Because he don't play it. He want his wife in the bed with him at night. So I try to make sure that's done. Like, we hardly ever spend any time away from each other. And anytime I go out of time with him, without him, he catch attitude. Like a little bitty child, he throws a tantrum.
Which parent is more strict?
Is that even a question? Thank you, sis, for that. Cause Miss Cotton said we did great. Thank you, Miss Cotton. Thank you, Shay. Shay be fussing at me about my sermons a lot, y'all. She be telling me I be going too long. Miss Cotton talking about her. I would say I'm like, that's hard for me to answer because that's still one of our struggles. Well, one of his struggles. Because I don't struggle with it. But I struggle with, right now, I'm away the most. And I still have to be the most consistent parent as if I was the stay-at-home mom. And he is away the most. And he hasn't grasped the concept of whichever parent is at home the most should be the strictest parent. So I still got to be the bad wolf. And I don't like that. So we're going to leave that alone for another day. I am not mean. I am very firm. We're going to justify that. He don't seem like he have a mean bone. Come here, Junior. We're going to take a little bit from the children. Come stand right here.
Come on, Junior.
Who is the meanest parent?
Come on, Junior.
He don't want no part in this job. Oh, he said both of us. Who is the most consistent parent?
What that mean?
That makes sure you do what you're supposed to do all the time. You probably not the right child because y'all argue a lot.
No, because he be talking about some usual time wisely and go back in the stairs and all that.
But if your mama say get in the tub and your daddy say get in the tub, who gonna make sure you get in the tub? Okay. Who would you say is the meanest parent? Or the most strict parent?
Him?
This is definitely the wrong
No,
child.
for real though.
Okay, so if your daddy say phone time ends at 10, what time does your phone time end?
10.
10 or 12?
10, sometimes 12.
Okay. He ain't consistent nowhere in his parenting style.
You was doing good at first, but
He want Bubba to lie for him. That's why he said he doing good. Gabe literally, read to my wrong answer. Y'all that know I be on Facebook, Gabe will tell them to go to bed.
that's right.
My turn, Mom.
Wrong answer, Junior.
Mom.
Gabe will tell them to go to bed. Okay, what, Garrett? What you got to say?
My turn.
Wrong answer,
He just
Junior.
want to push in my head.
It's my turn.
What?
We need some water. My turn.
Who you think is the meanest parent? Why you say that?
Because he be at the bed.
Turn around and tell him.
No, I know. Because he
Always what?
Because he be hollering at me all the time.
And that's okay. Now move.
Can I get my answer for this?
Oh, okay.
I pick him because he out the bed all the time arguing. Fussing at us.
So what you saying? I been in bed too much?
No, I'm saying you don't like. He out the bed and gossip with us.
Gossip. So basically, they're responding based on who yells the most
Oh, there's the most.
and who fusses at them the most.
Oh, I know.
What?
Who?
So they're saying he's the meanest parent because he's the least consistent parent. Because I don't have to really yell at them. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Who is the meanest parent, Garrett? Who is the nicest parent? Who yells the most? Who enforces the rules the most? I'm happy to know that they don't feel like I'm the meanest parent, though, because I literally be beating myself up. Who buys you snacks the most?
Both.
Who lets you break the rules the most?
Him.
So you see what I'm saying? Like, y'all get the gist of what other question you want to answer. Who's most likely to take your phone or tablet?
Both of y'all.
Who's most likely to enforce curfew?
You.
Who's most likely to enforce snack restrictions
You. Daddy don't do
and
that.
drink restrictions?
You. With Daddy.
Okay. So I think that any other questions we need to ask can get answered before we put y'all out. What?
For who out?
You and Bud, you and Garrett.
When? Who eats the most? From the whole house?
Who eats the most?
Both of y'all. What, from the whole house?
No, out of the living room before we can finish this live and end it.
We telling my business on this thing.
Any other questions about parenting we need to answer?
Who has the most muscles?
Who has the most muscles?
That don't make no sense.
Who's the fattest?
Nobody.
You don't want to say that, do you?
I said, you better not point at my wife.
Who is the best cook?
You.
Who's the best grocery shopper?
That is the barbecue man.
Who's the best car fixer?
Him.
Who's the best yard worker?
Him.
All right, that's all the questions we have.
Good job, my boy.
No.
Go on.
Is another one that I
Who buys the best shoes?
both.
Boy, your dad don't even buy
No.
shoes.
Your mama. Go there.
Who buys the best clothes?
Your mama.
Okay, now y'all can go. That's it.
Another question.
What?
Yeah, I could get that to mama. Who buys me the best clothes?
We just
And best
answered it.
shoes.
We just answered it.
Who buys you the best clothes and the best shoes? Garrett, the view's going down. We gotta finish.
Your mama.
Mama. Wait, how many views you got?
So I do need to give myself a little leeway because a lot of times I cry. Okay, whenever you get ready. Because it's hard when you have to enforce the rules the most. It's one of the most difficult things for me because I was the child that got a lot of whoopings and a lot of beatings and a lot of mistreatment. All the children in our household did. It wasn't just me, but out of our marriage, it was more so me. So it's hard for me because I struggle with, am I too hard on my children, you know? Are they getting that love and not just growl? But I stay calm with them 99% of the time. Even when y'all hear me raise my voice on him,
No.
they don't respond to it because they're not used to me yelling.
Hey.
Hey,
Uh-oh, he should come. He got something.
Mama.
go check your clothes in the drawer.
Mama.
Check your clothes.
The bags did.
Mama, she want 100%. She don't yell at us. Daddy, 0%.
Go check.
He
the
always
clothes
yelling,
in
huh?
the dryer.
Cause he made me do chores.
Go
It's not my
check
chores.
the clothes in the dryer.
If y'all been on here for a while, y'all know Gav don't like doing chores, baby. My boy can't stand doing chores. Do you hear me? It's the worst thing for him. It's like you sinning against God when you ask him to do chores. But I don't like everything that I've learned in early childhood and in school. I implemented in my home, so I don't hit my children. Lately I have had to tell at least one of them that I'm gonna spank him because he keeps going toe to toe with my husband. And I don't like that. I feel like that's disrespectful. My granddaddy used to always tell me to stay on his tail because he gonna run over his dad if we let him.
Check it.
Listen to him. That Bubba Jr. Miss Bird, push that ring light up some for me.
We're gonna have a daddy somewhere.
No, we not going there because you can stop it now. Push it up a little bit more. Because this the kind of stuff.
Ain't
Up some
nobody
more.
gonna run over. Ain't nobody running over
A little
you.
bit more. This the kind of stuff he like to say. He gonna have his daddy somewhere. When he could put a stop, thank you, sis.
Ain't nobody
He could put a
running
stop
over
to it now. We wouldn't even have to go there.
Don't worry. I'm putting a stop to it tomorrow.
I said now. I ain't say tomorrow. And a part of the reason why these children like this with him, because when we was going to our old church, I gotta tell y'all what Gabe did.
What did I do?
One Sunday, the pastor said, y'all need to stop letting y'all children raise y'all.
Don't you tell them, boy.
I'm gonna tell him. Guess what Gabe said? I don't know how to make homemade cornbread yet now. You got to teach me that now.
Mine do a fine job.
I use
right
Jiffy
now.
Mix.
This
Gabe stood up in that church. That man said, y'all need to stop letting y'all, Pastor Holmes, he said, y'all need to stop letting y'all children raise y'all. Gabe stood up and said, mine doing a fine job of raising me. That's when Gigi was the only child. So Naya was with her dad for that little time frame. I just looked at him. And now every time these children raise him, I look at him and say, that's what happens when you stand in the house of the Lord and say that's what your children raising you. So The boys do play sports, but they usually play basketball. Thankfully, the dad for the win on this. Between last semester of grad school work, getting them to their sports, and everybody dying and sick, I was just overwhelmed. I didn't feel like I was going to be able to do it, but at the same time, I didn't want to deprive my
Daddy's wall just went out.
Who?
This wall.
He said, since I'm being nice, mama's rule, daddy's drool.
Whoa.
This wall over here that always go out.
So,
You trying to plug some up?
what I was just saying. Anybody know?
You trying to plug some up? That's probably what.
I don't know what I was saying. Oh yeah, Daddy decided that they weren't gonna do basketball this year. We're kind of in between leagues because the league we did football with, we did basketball with that same league, and it's just too ratchet. Honestly, I'm not gonna try to sugarcoat it. I wouldn't even want my children playing for it if we lived in the projects because it's so unorganized. The people feel like they can fight around your children and argue. And I can't have my children subjected to that. They don't even get that at home. They cuss like a fool, calling people B words. And I'm going on public record to say that we took a break. It's entirely too ratchet. I would rather drive them to Bastrop.
And the other reason why, because my phone broke.
Oh. Basketball season wasn't going to start till after your foot got well, baby. But I would rather drive them to Bastrop and let them play sports in Bastrop than for them to play for their league again. And I'm just being honest. So they didn't do basketball this year, but they do all sports. The only thing they haven't done yet is soccer. And I'm trying to get them into soccer this season, whenever they start again. I don't even know when soccer starts, but they want to play soccer, so I'm going to let them play soccer.
Main person's day rules.
There's no telling, Ree.
But what you looking for in the cabinets?
There's no telling.
Nothing.
He said nothing.
I said the wall went out.
He's trying to cook something. Junior is a great cooker, baker, whatever.
No.
He loves to cook, so he's probably not fixing him something to eat.
Hey.
Any other questions? Oh, they start next week, basketball. I just gotta see if I can drive that far. I just said that, Miss Carr. Don't hold me to it, cause I ain't gonna drive. School starts back this week.
You finishing your work?
Garrett, go.
When you get out my way.
Go, Garrett.
I'm better at cooking than my brother.
But they play basketball, baseball, and football so far. They want to do soccer, and now somebody wants to play tennis. I don't know who it is.
Me?
Gigi does cheer, softball, and that's it, I think.
That's it.
But she's always going somewhere, so she does something else. I just can't put my finger on it. Zanaya does basketball, but she was supposed to do track this year. So hopefully we can get them in soccer. I think Gigi's really pretty much going to stick to softball and cheer because she really doesn't like basketball. She has said once that she would like to try it, but it's kind of phasing on out now. She's about to be 14 this year. But yes, they're all active in something, which is why we have to have Nanny Julie, because during football season, Gigi's playing softball and Zanaya's playing basketball. They all have to be somewhere. So we have to make sure we have enough hands, because other than Nanny Julie and Sister V that steps in when she's not working in an immense amount of time, it's just us. We the only two people here to get them where they need to go. So we have to use all. We really have to have all hands on deck. So our goal is to give Zanaya a car soon, so that would at least give us, 18. Before she turns 18, son. That would at least give us a little.
OTCN said she don't take 2 jobs.
Don't be telling our business on here. We can't tell the folks everything. My God. But the goal is to give Zanaya a car. That's why I've been posting her driving lately, because she said she's driven when she was a little girl, which is kind of believable because she tries to drive with 2 feet and her daddy drives with 2 feet. So that's the only reason why I believe her. But
That's who. I knew somebody drove with 2 feet. That's who it is.
so we're trying to teach her to drive before we put her in driver's ed because we don't want her to just not know anything before she goes. Getting her out of driving with these 2 feet is very stressful. Junior stay tough. But she's doing good with her control and stuff. We got to work on her backing up and stuff. Because from what I understand, driver's ed don't really teach them a lot.
She was pushing 60 at nighttime.
So we don't want to, she's going to have a need for speed. We don't want to just throw her out there like that. But
But she got a job.
Miss Cotton said basketball start next week, babe. I got to really think about that. That's a lot of driving.
My friend and them are in practice today.
Well, that means it's too late to sign y'all up, baby. Barrett's the only place in America that allow children. Oh, and the other league we just got through with, the unorganized league. I don't care. I hope they see it because I emailed them people trying to be nice and professional. And when that lady stood on that football field and said that B word and my baby was on that field playing, I was done then. And then the next time, you know, they was out there about to fight with the children on the coaches want to fight parents. Can't do that. I'm not subjecting my child. I might well take them and let them grow up where I grew up at. If I'm subject them to that. I work too hard.
Hey, look.
Back to the.
No, I ain't moving them into the hood. If I have to, I will because I know how to raise them in the hood. But if I don't have to, I'm not. Anybody else have any questions?
You ain't gonna run.
We
You ain't gonna raise me in the hood.
I raise you where I want to raise you with. Get your hand off your shoulder, off your hip, boy. You don't make any money. If the Lord take everything we have and we have to go to the projects, guess where we going? You ain't gonna die in no projects, boy. I ain't dying. I'm still alive. His eye, cause his eyes a little pinky and a little swollen.
Sorry. I'm still alive.
They're going with Nanny Jolie. She went and got Chloe and came and got them.
What they with, Mom?
When does soccer season start, Ree?
Tomorrow.
They will stand all night with TT Jaleesa.
Oh. Yeah, they're gonna stay up all night. Sorry. I know Gigi. She ain't gonna stay up all night.
Who's this with all these ha-has? They not showing up on my screen.